Hello everyone, my name is Karamvir Singh and my student number is 3011193774, and today I'll be doing an oral presentation on the episode number 31 of Inspiring Social Entrepreneurs podcast called Interview with Joe Polizzi, founder of Content Marketing Institute. Inspiring Social Entrepreneur is a podcast hosted by Fergal Barney. In episode 31, he invites Joe Polizzi, a very well-known face in marketing industry. In this podcast, he talks about a lot of marketing-related topics which I'll be covering in this presentation. Now let's look at the topics I cover in this presentation. Biography on Joe Polizzi, a brief history of his career, motivations behind his work, challenges and successes he and his team encountered, Joe's prediction about their company's future potential, and at the end, conclusion. Joe Polizzi is an entrepreneur, author, podcast, and founder of a Content Marketing Institute, also called CMI, which is leading content marketing educational resource for companies. CMI was recognized as the fastest growing business medium company by INC magazine in 2014 and 15. He is one of the world's foremost authorities in the content marketing, which he started in 2001. Joe is also the best-selling author of 7 books, including Content INC and Epic Content Marketing. Now let's talk about the history of Joe Polizzi. Joe used to work in a publishing company called Penton Media, based in Cleveland, now in New York. He used to work in a custom content or custom media programs. In Penton, he used to deal with sponsors of products that sales team couldn't sell. So he and his team would work with those sponsors by using a method called custom publishing, where they would develop or analyze their articles, blogs, ebooks, programs. But every marketing manager he worked with would never take interest in Joe's methods, resulting in him changing its name from custom publishing to content marketing in 2001 because he thought including marketing in its name would catch their attention, and surprisingly, it worked too. Now, Joe always wanted to be an entrepreneur, so even though he was doing really good in Penton, he left that company in March of 2007 to start his own business, which is now called Content Marketing Institute. Now, here is a look at Content Marketing Institute's official website. Now, let's talk about the motivation behind Joe's work. During his time in Penton, Joe would go to different companies and review their advertising methods like emails, blogs, articles, etc. And in about 95% of them, he would always find a lack of connection between them and their customers due to them simply following the traditional PR and advertising methods, which also lead to their ads being just about their company's products. And this made him realize how much our marketing industry needs to implement the custom marketing methods. Because custom marketing methods involves growing their audience by telling them things or stories they're interested in and providing them some value, which would eventually catch their attention and interest, resulting in creating a relationship between the customer and the company. And because companies would provide them some value in their lives, in future their audience would give them back by being a loyal customer. Now, in Joe's business, he faced many challenges. Let's talk about them briefly. In early years of his business, Joe faced a lot of challenges and difficulties because his business being really different from any other business. They were facing some problems with convincing companies to choose their marketing methods, especially bigger companies, because Joe's method simply involved change in culture, and bringing that change is really hard in bigger corporations. And because of that, they were having a problem with increasing their reach. Along with that, they were losing a lot of money and were facing some really serious financial problems. But since he had believed in his methods, he and his team never gave up. So let's take a brief into successes they have encountered. Now, after facing some hardship, they tried to switch things up completely. They switched their company model to business media model, where they would go to different companies and do paid content marketing events to work for their advertisements development. And since Joe was familiar with this method, it worked out really well and it started to grow grow their business. In the year 2010, they launched their magazine called Content Marketing Magazine, which got a lot of sales. They also organized a huge content marketing world event following their first event in 2011. After that, they gained a respectable name in marketing industry. They worked with a lot of smaller companies first, since it's easier to bring a cultural change in them, then started working with bigger companies and brought a change in their advertisement techniques too. Joe believes that even though PR or original way of advertising is really good in some situations, but over many years we all have put so many resources into traditional marketing that we all have forgotten that we can give value to audience, which is the most authentic way of advertising. Even though content marketing industry is over 100 years old, we are still at its adaptation phase. About 25% of marketing is done in content marketing methods, which is really small considering how useful it is. He believes that it's going to go up by 40 to 50% in about 5 to 10 years. He also believes that considering content marketing's potential, it will be adapted more in bigger companies in future. Now let's conclude the presentation. Joe Polizzi is a hardworking entrepreneur whose mission is to make the marketing industry a better place by promoting the content marketing strategy of connecting with customers by providing them some value instead of just promoting their products. Even though Joe faced many challenges during his startup, he, being a hardworking person and inspired person, did his best and got his business to a huge success in just 7 years. And now due to his work and hardship, content marketing industry is known as the fastest growing industry and is being adapted by many organizations. Now I would like to end this presentation with a great quote from none other than Joe Polizzi about content marketing. He says, "Content marketing is the art of communicating with your customers and prospects without selling." Thank you so much for your time.